There we go. All right. Hi, guys. Sorry, a little bit of a lag there. So I tried to take one first video, but then of course the doorbell rang and my dogs freaked out. So I'm gonna be trying this again. Officially this time though, so I'm doing chapter one of Emily's point of view for this novel. And I'm so excited for it because I just found out about ACX a little bit ago, and so I'm just trying to give this a try. Um, and I hope that you guys like it. So let's buckle down and get to it 'cause I'm super excited for this opportunity. All right, officially now. Chapter 1. Emily. The cloud shifted in the starlit sky and allowed for the full moon to illuminate the city in its silvery glow as I stepped out from the lifeless luminescence of the hospital. As I started out, I spotted three of the doctors standing by the entranceway as they gave me that look, and I bit my lip at their flirting stares. It wasn't that they or any of the other doctors who gave me that look weren't good looking, and it certainly wasn't that I was uninterested in finding love. It just didn't feel right with them. There just wasn't that. Hey, Emily. Phil, one of the more daring doctors on our staff, shot his trademark smirk my way. Did you want to join us at the bar tonight? Oh, thanks for the offer, but I really should get home tonight. I'm already feeling lagged. I forced a soft smile as I recited the same excuse I did every night after work. Ah, one of these days, Emily, he chided me. One of these days, we're going to wear you down. I chuckled and quickly excused myself, making my way through the parking lot and into the city lights. With the hushed murmurs of my admirers too distant to hear, I let out a heavy breath and shook my head at myself. I didn't understand it, really. I spent most of my free time reading romance novels and daydreaming about finding my own personal Prince Charming. And yet, whenever the reality of an interested suitor sprung up, I couldn't bring myself to accept them, couldn't even give them a chance. I sighed again. Maybe it was time to put down the books, to abandon the fantasies and fiction, and just settle. I felt myself shudder at the thought of lowering my more than likely outlandish standards, and slipped away from the bustling crowd and into an alleyway to catch my breath. As my own labored breathing and thundering heartbeat settled, I picked up on another set of heavy breaths, loud and pained, and, fighting my growing nerves, looked deeper into the darkness of the alley to see the source. Oh my! My heartbeat started up again, and I instinctively started forward. Ahead of me, a large framed man was crouched and clutching a blood drenched hand over his stomach. Sir, are you all right? Were you injured? It's okay. My words caught in my throat as the man lifted his head at the sound of my voice, wincing at his own movement and letting out a hissed breath at the pain. I gasped, feeling the chill of the opposite wall against my back. Had I even moved? I shook my head, trying to remember, stepping back, but drawing a blank. I I'm fine. His voice cracked and he coughed, spitting blood on the alley floor. Just just go. Taking a deep breath, I forced myself to step forward again and knelt beside him to check his wounds. Though whatever injury he had was hidden, I could tell that the blood was recent, and I moved to pry his hands away to better inspect the damage. Still keeping one hand on his abdomen, he snatched me by the wrist and looked up at me. "Pl- Please." His voice was suddenly desperate. "You you need to go now." I My breath hitched to my chest as our gazes collided, his dark hazel eyes peering deep into me. I could get lost in those eyes. I shook my head, trying to clear my thoughts. "I can't do that, sir. I'm a nurse. I've taken an oath to help the injured." I tried not to think about the lie that I was telling as I spoke the words. I wasn't exactly required to help anyone outside of the office, and quite frankly, I'd ignored several situations in the past when I'd stumbled across the aftermath of a drunken brawl or some other minor incident that I felt was too dangerous, to get involved in. But this situation had danger written all over it. So why was I doing this? Why did I stop for him? You don't need to lie. He let out a small laugh. I'll be all right soon. Thank you, Emily. I frowned at that. Had I told him I shook my head again. Well, maybe I just want to help you. And trust me, when I decide to do something, I don't stop until I do it. The man stifled a chuckle. That stubbornness is going to get you into trouble. My eyes widened as his words echoed in my mother's voice in the back of my head. She'd always said that my stubbornness was going to get. Uh, all right. He moved from his slouched position. If you insist. He groaned in pain as he straightened himself and lifted his blood-stained shirt. I fought the heat that threatened to crawl up my face. His toned abdomen and broad chest was revealed to me. Realizing that I was still staring, I moved to reach on into my handbag for my flashlight. Though the rays of the moon were enough to illuminate his features, the depth and darkness of the alley made it hard to do the job I'd set my mind on doing. Okay, I'm gonna need you to stay still and relax as best as you can. All right, if you say so. He flashed me a grin of perfect teeth, and I desperately fought the urge to swoon. Then, as if he could tell the effect he was having, he added, Nurse Emily. His tone. It was as if the pain was. I ignored my wandering thoughts as I aimed the beam of light at his torso. I gasped as I got a clear view of the source of all the blood. He'd been shot. Moving around him, I searched his back for an exit wound. If the bullet was still inside, you really should see a doctor. I can't treat a gunshot wound. I don't have the supplies, and you need to file a report with the Pope. I said I'd be fine. His smirk forced another wave of warmth to my cheeks. Fine? How can you say that? My emotions flared at his casualness to the situation. How can you be so calm about this? You've been shot. And and I think the bullet is still. I shook my head. Damn it. You're gonna bleed to death if you don't. I gasped as he lifted his left hand and placed it on my hand, a sudden wave of ease and calm sweeping over me. It if you don't. I stammered, trying to remember what I'd been thinking. I'd been angry, hadn't I? And all of a sudden, I couldn't remember. This man. And with that, I'm going to take a pause. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know. I apologize if my voice kind of cracked here and there. I'm super excited for this opportunity, super nervous, but let me know what you guys think. And that's my dog. So I'm going to go. Thank you guys.